What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to thank you guys first and foremost for watching the last two videos that I've put out. You guys have truly come to my rescue and watching those videos. So I'm hoping that this one here will do just as good, but this one here is not necessarily, this one here is going to kind of explain my way of thinking about the whole Nvidia versus AMD thing. And well, let's get into this, guys. So I've warned you guys for a while now that chasing DLSS and ray tracing is probably not the way to go, especially on like higher Nvidia GPUs. So here's the thing. With ray tracing, it traces the rays, right? So right now, like I think it's like, what is it? The BVH structure with like RDNA or something is like four rays, and then like over on like PlayStation 5 Pro they made it so it can do eight like the BVH structure is now 8. Well, essentially they can keep adding more rays. Like the developers can be like, all right, well, we got 8 right now, and that looks pretty good, but what if we add 16? What if we add 32? What if we add 64? You know, if they keep going up and up and up and adding more rays, dude, they can instantly, continuously cripple your high dollar, expensive 4090s, 5090s, 6090s just by adding more rays. And you know, depending on each generation of like DLSS, how much better it gets, maybe it can claw back a little bit of that performance, maybe it can't. Maybe you get to a point where you're like, dang, dude, now I need a lot more VRAM to be able to run all of these extra rays and stuff. It's crazy, it's madness. In my mind, ray tracing is literally indefinite. They can literally indefinitely keep adding to that. And pretty soon, everything could essentially be rays. So you're talking all of your rays from, you know, from your visuals, from your 3D art, everything. If they start utilizing that, oh man, it's crazy. It's a crazy world out there. I personally don't think personal computing is at a point where they can forego pure rasterized power. They just can't right now. And if they do, you're streaming everything from the cloud. You're going to be streaming everything in real time, AI generated, everything. I made that video a long time ago that, hey guys, I'm worried about AI taking over. And a lot of you laughed at me, man. A lot of you guys thought I was dumb or you don't know what you're talking about, Frog. Like, I kind of feel like I understand this stuff a little bit. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want, but the truth of the matter is if they wanted to completely cripple your card, they could easily. They could literally bring out yeah. I don't know if I would be like, yeah, dude, ray tracing. Ray tracing is not the reason that I would be buying a GPU for. Obviously, there are software techniques. I've seen it run on AMD GPUs. I've seen AMD come out and try to meet everything in the middle. That's where I've seen AMD. I've seen AMD like, look, guys, you're gonna want this power. Like you're gonna want the sheer power that like the 7900 XTX delivers. You're gonna want that sheer, you know, just you want that structure. Like you want that to still be there. And I've seen them come out and still try to do ray tracing, you know, software wise. I've seen them come out with, you know, FSR. A lot of people give that a hard time, but I've been actually, since I bought PS5 Pro, I've been utilizing FSR 3 and 2 and everything to run games at 4K on the OLED, and I'm looking at that, and then I'm comparing that image quality to that of PlayStation 5 Pro, and even with FSR, it still looks better on the PC platform. I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty damn good. You know, if I can look at PS5 Pro and be satisfied with those visuals on a 4K display, you're trying to tell me, like, and then I look at what FSR has to do on a PC, being able to give me increased texture quality, increased resolution, increased overall image quality, like I'm like, okay, like I get it, like it makes sense. It actually looks pretty good. And so, my friends, honestly, if you look at it from this point of view, going after going after like your top end Nvidia GPUs, like your 50, like your 90 class. Let's be fair. Let's be realistic. Those cards are probably your better bet, just due to the fact that they have significantly more CUDA core. They're not cut down dies. They have everything there. It's all working. They've got, you know, good memory bandwidth. They have, you know, they have the full stack. Like when Blackwell comes out with 5090, 32 gigs of RAM or VRAM and everything on GDDR7, that's going to be a good card. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to definitely be a good card. I mean, the 4090 is still a good card. The 3090, still a good card. The cards, you know, are fully utilized dies that have all the power there that you would actually need. It's only when you start going down the stack with Nvidia that you start to see these massive curves, these massive drop-offs. Like I think 4090 is 384-bit bus, and then you drop down to 4080 and it drops right down to 256. So it goes boom. It like cuts it right in half with that bus range, and you're like, what the freak? And so you start to put two and two together. You know, you start to see the massive cuts that architecture is taking to try to segment it into a certain situation to where, look, this thing it's not gonna push past. Like it's not gonna do what you want it to do later. Like it's almost like it's engineered not to do that, especially with the way that the Nvidia system, you know, is running the ray tracing on the tensor cores that they want it to, how they want it to do, how it's programmed for that. Because when we look at other games, you know, like, I mean, even like Cyberpunk's just regular ray tracing. If you get in there on an AMD card, you can run it. You can, you know, maybe not like super high. I mean, I feel like you get a little bit better than 30 series ray tracing on your AMD cards. But like if you go back and you try to run any of that earlier ray tracing stuff on an AMD 7000 series GPU, RDNA 3, they run just fine. You get in there, you can run the ray tracing, you can do all of that. The only ray tracing that ever really has a problem is the stuff that is designed specifically for the Nvidia, for Nvidia chipset to run. And that's not always perfect on Nvidia cards either. So I don't know, my friends. It's a never-ending thing when it comes to ray tracing, period. Like that is the way it's designed. It's essentially infinite. How many rays are there in the world? Like how many rays can you actually simulate? You know, can your, you know, structure run this many? You know, every generation, you know, the power will double, and they'll be able to, oh, well, now we can go from eight rays to 16 rays. I mean, like, think about it, man. If you look at path tracing, my friends, you're going to be buying a new ray tracing GPU every generation just to keep chasing that. That is Nvidia basically being like, finally, we have the Holy Grail of making these suckers upgrade every generation. Don't buy into the ray tracing thing, man. Like you kind of want like somebody like AMD to keep pushing like not like fake ray tracing, you know, like software based or something like that. That's still going to give you that visual quality that you're looking for. That's runnable. Like you want that. You absolutely want that. Or you want to push back for them to, you know, not go over a certain amount. Like this is a never ending thing, guys. And this is why I preach against it. You know, this is why I'm like, look, man, I don't know if ray tracing is absolutely worth it, because it literally can, like, you could literally spend $2,500 on a 5090, bro. Think about this. And then 2 years later, the 6090 comes out, doubles the ray tracing capacity, and then those new games come out and they start needing that double capacity to run those. What are you going to do on your 5090, let alone your 4090? Like you're turning ray tracing off just to have the AMD experience. Like you're turning ray tracing off, period. Like you're turning off a feature that you absolutely bought your GPU for, unless you're willing to pay that price and upgrade every 2 years, then you got to be in a 2-year upgrade cycle to where you're literally having to sell yours to buy a new one every 2 years. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think that is. I think that I kind of feel like that's forced. I don't feel like it's a choice anymore. I feel like you are essentially putting yourself in a, if you can afford it, like, why are you even listening to me, bro? Like, if you can afford it, there's no reason you'd be watching this channel. So I'm talking to the people that are susceptible to literally being ripped off. And honestly, guys, this is my true opinion still to this day since getting into PC gaming. If you're not buying a 90 class Nvidia GPU, you're absolutely wasting your money. Like Jensen said, the more you buy, the more you save. And he's being honest. Like, he's literally being honest. And that's the way he designed his company. If you buy more, you will save more because you'll be able to use it a little bit longer. You'll have to upgrade. And this is the way, think about it. If you bought a 3080 10 gig or a 3080 10 gig, boom, 40 series came out, you couldn't use half the features, you had to upgrade, boom, right there. Like, even, well, I don't know, 3092. But you see where I'm going with this? Like, your 3090 was able to run games a little bit longer, your 4090 is able to run games a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Like, your 5080 might be the same power as a 4090, as a 59 or as a 5080. Oh yeah, your 5080 might be the same power as a 4090. It's just the way it works, bro. It's just the way it works. The more you buy, the more you save. So unless you're buying a 90 class GPU from Nvidia, you're wasting your money. I mean, that literally trickles down to like the 60 series cards and the 70s well, the 70 series cards. Okay. If you don't care about ray tracing, and I mean, that's the way I look at it. The 70 series cards, they're not horrible if you're not using ray tracing. I mean, you can use it a little bit, you know, like older games, whatever. You can definitely use it. But if you buy a 70 class card, you're wasting your money because you could literally pay AMD less money and get more VRAM and still get and get more power too. So you can get a better overall experience. I mean, like, AMD cards outperform the Nvidia ones every single day of the week in power. But yeah, then there's that pesky DLSS, man. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to. I'm just here to help. I'm just here to help confuse you. But yeah, I like AMD. I've been so happy with AMD image quality, everything. I've just been happy, and I don't have like these unrealistic expectations for like ray tracing or any of this other stuff. So that makes gaming fun instead of always feeling like, oh my gosh, dude, do I need to upgrade? Do I need to upgrade to have the best? And yeah, that shit's not in the back of my head anymore. Now I'm just like, yeah, dude, I love AMD, man. I'm blown away. I'm stoked that I'm probably going to get FSR 4 on my AMD GPU here pretty soon. My RDNA 3 GPU might be able to take advantage of the next generation FSR hardware, or FSR just by being a part of the family. You know what I mean? Instead of like having to buy a whole new GPU generation to use it. Like, I'm excited about that. But AMD, if you're listening, yes, we will have issues if that's not the case. If that PlayStation 5 Pro right there, let me show you. If that little fella right there can run ML upscaling, don't try to pretend that my 7900 XTX, don't try to pretend that any of my 7000 series GPUs are not going to be able to run FSR 4. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have been awesome. You definitely helped keep this channel afloat and help us survive the whole freaking hacking thing. It's actually doing pretty good, and I'm very, very, very happy and grateful to you, my friends, for helping us stay here. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.